Good morning. Lynn Snyder gets here with Holly Lange of Abundantly Clear Design. And I happen to have known Holly for about 19 years and very privileged to work with her. And I'm going to let her tell you about herself and her business. And I'm going to ask her some questions about it.
Hey, hi, Lynn. Well, thanks for having me. This is great. So I'm Holly Lange. I own a company called Abundantly Clear Design that I started 19 years ago. And I've been working with Lynn since pretty much the time I started. And we have staged homes in every kind of market. And basically, the short answer is that staging is a way to brand market your house, very much like the way today people work on their social media brand. It's just like that for your house. So it's a lot about making it accessible to the broadest range of people. It's not so much about decorating, it's really about strategy. So it's really about what do people feel the first 30 seconds of being in your house. And if you don't grab them, the offer they make you, if they make you one, is going to follow suit. So it's not going to be as good as the offer that they might make on a staged home.
I should have mentioned that Holly is a stager. She's also a professional organizer. And I will tell you that Holly and I, as I said before, have been working together for 19 years. She has never staged a house that I have not gotten sold. And she will work on an empty property. Yep. She will work on property where you think the furniture, there's just no way that this is ever going to look good. And she's a miracle worker. And so she works on all different levels, all kinds of different houses. And as she said, through 19 years, she's worked in all kinds of markets. However, I will say, and I've been a believer from the beginning, I don't care what the market is, it needs to be merchandised. Staging is merchandising.
Yep.
And one thing I learned from Holly very early on that she would tell my clients is that, again, staging's not decorating. She just said strategy. She also said psychology to me. So talk a little bit about that.
That's true. Well, the psychology of selling your house has to do with helping the buyer envision how they are going to live in the house. And you need to make it as easy as possible. You have to make it so that people don't have to use their imagination too much. You need to show them how they're going to live in the house. So it should be organized, because if your house is organized, they will imagine themselves being organized in their new house. If there's a great spot for entertaining, then you need to stage the furniture around that idea so people can picture entertaining in that space and living their ideal life in that new house. The new house is a promise of things that right now they don't have. Maybe the space for kids, or the space for a dog, or the space to entertain, or the space to open your own business and have a great office where you can do that. And every house and every neighborhood are different, but the houses and the neighborhoods that lend themselves to a certain type of buyer, that's how we stage it. We stage it so that it really helps that buyer picture how they're going to live that great new life in that house.
So I always tell my clients, because it's one of the things that I require as a partner when I'm listing a house, is that number one thing is that my value proposition pays for the consultation. And that's Holly comes in, and she's going to tell you what to do, and you have to agree to either do it yourself or hire her. I spent 20 years selling to retailers, and I feel like if your inventory on my shelf, you're Neiman Marcus or Nordstrom, and it's merchandising. And when you have a house on the market, it's a product on a shelf. In the case when I'm the listing agent, it's my shelf. It has to be merchandised. So Holly, just for lay people this morning, could you just give us maybe 5 top tips if you were telling somebody what they need to do?
Okay, yeah, there's definitely some tips that apply to every house. So the first is depersonalizing. So personal photos, any collections, trophies, certificates with your name on it, things with birth dates, anniversary dates, things like this. The next is, of course, cleaning, very thorough cleaning, making sure that everything smells good. Now, it doesn't need to be artificially scented. You have to be very careful about that. You don't want people thinking you're hiding something. but it should smell clean. And also editing out any furniture that doesn't serve you. The other thing is making sure that rooms are showing the function that where they're intended. I've seen living rooms and dining rooms switched because it just worked for how the family lived in that house. But when I went in there, I thought, you know, the dining room's near the kitchen. It makes more sense for that to be a dining room. So we need to switch that around. Bedrooms should be staged as bedrooms or occasionally an office. And then finally, I'd say curb appeal is important. Making sure that when you walk up to that house, it looks really good. Doesn't have to be a lot of stuff. In fact, usually less is more. Not a lot of decorations, no spin things out front, or you know, crazy doormats that say "scram" or something like that. It should be really welcoming. It should be really clean. If there's any cobwebs, clean those up. Touch up paint, all that kind of good stuff, and just make sure that the second they walk in, that entry feels open and they're just excited to see the rest of the house. I think that's fine.
So if you're overwhelmed listening to this and you're thinking about selling your house and you think, how am I going to get organized? Well, Holly is a professional organizer as well. So
yeah.
Do you just want to touch a minute on that?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that is something that it's, you know, it's a process. I wish I could be Mary Poppins, but I have to go in and work side by side with you and help you figure out what you need to keep, what you don't, what could maybe be stored elsewhere. But when you're living in the house and you need some help with organizing, that's more about you telling me what your idea is for your ideal space. Is that word ideal again? So if you want to say turn a bedroom into a home office, you need to have that home office be really efficient, have the closet set up so that everything you need is at your fingertips. So it's a lot about sorting things, finding out what you have before you can figure out what you need and what you don't need, and then figuring out where it goes. So being motion-minded, that's where, say you want everything near your desk to be the things you use every day, and then things that are maybe in the closet or things you use once a week, things like that. And every room, kitchens, bedrooms, it's the same application.
Thank you, Holly. So guys, she can organize you even if you're not going to sell your house. If you don't need your house staged, you can still call Holly. And Holly, how do they get in touch with you?
So I have a website. It's hollylange.com. So that's HOLLYLANGE.com. And then I'm also on Google under Abundantly Clear Design. And that links to everything. So got Facebook page, Instagram. That's just Abundantly Clear, one word. And yeah, you can stage your home to live, not just to sell. So if you want to refresh your space, but you don't really want to spend a lot of money on new furniture, I can come in, rearrange it, and then like when I stage a home to sell and the buyers say, the sellers say, I wish you had been here sooner. We should have called you when we moved in. Well, you can.
Awesome. Yeah, I forgot about that. Thank you, Holly, so much.
Thanks,
it's nice
Lynn.
to see you.
So
and
good
Happy
to see
New
you.
Year, everybody.